People, we're back again. The two marks are in town with the special guest that will be Nige from Pure Coys. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. I am very well, and I'm having it large.
Nice. That's what we like to hear, Nige. Brilliant. Sheriff, how are you, mate?
All's good, mate. All's good. Sun's still out, still warm. Lovely, lovely.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Are you having it large too?
I am having it large.
Brilliant.
I am, man, because what? We've got a week of summer. This is the week of summer before it rains also next week.
All right, okay. Well,
We'll
make the most of it. We'll make the most of it while it's here, won't we?
Yeah.
Eh? Brilliant stuff. So, I just thought, we thought we'd come on, have a little chat about, last Sunday, that sort of thing. And then we'd have a little chat about Bodo tomorrow night.
Well, yeah.
So I know it's what's the point? What is the point? I've got to say that from What's the Point FC. What is the point? But we're going to do it anyway. Come on, Nige, give us your, I don't know, we'll do it in steps, eh? We'll eke it out a bit. All right, let's go on team selection first, Nige. Would you have picked what Ange picked, or would you have rested anyone, or was there much you would have done differently?
Honestly, I think Ange was in a little bit of a no-win situation Sunday, because I think whoever he would have picked, say if he had picked Van der Ven and Romero and they got injured, then he would have got slated for starting them. So I think he was, it was a little bit damned if you do, damned if you don't. The only thing I wouldn't have done is put Gray in the centre of midfield. I don't know what Basuma's done, but he doesn't seem to get a look in now. So I would have started Basuma. Other than that, I didn't really have a problem with the team, to be honest. It is very much all for Thursday. So the only major change, I wouldn't have played Gray at Liverpool. I would have played Basuma.
Yeah.
Okay. Sheriff?
Yeah, that's probably what I thought as well. Because it's like Nige said, if he had put like Romero and Van der Ven in, say if they'd have been stretchered off, it's all ifs and buts, I know, but you know what I mean. He'd never been forgiven. He wouldn't have been. So I understand why he done it. To be honest, were we expecting the win going there? No. To be honest, we weren't, were we? I mean, let's face it. We were sort of the guests that were sort of invited, but we had to sit in the corner. There was a party on, and you can come in, but you must sit in the corner over there and behave yourself.
Yeah.
It was all about Liverpool Sunday, wasn't it? I mean, do we ever win there? No, hardly ever. Were we ever going to win there? No, probably not. And so it was what it was. We just had to come in, sit in the corner, behave ourselves. But we did upset the party at the beginning by taking the lead, which to be honest was like poking the bear. I mean, you don't poke the bear, do you? Because you turn around and claw you to death or something.
Well, yeah. Okay. I'll just put my 2 pence in. I think it was disgusting what he did to Archie Gray on Sunday, putting him in there with Bergvall, 2 kids in there, away at Anfield, right? That sort of shit that he did for me, right, on Sunday can destroy careers. It can destroy careers, right? You don't do that to a kid, especially when he hasn't played in centre midfield for you apart from 45 minutes in the second half at home. We're talking about Anfield here, a team that when and if they beat you that day, they win the league. Yeah. It's not like they're not going to be up for it.
Yeah.
He got destroyed in that game. absolutely destroyed. And that then lent on Bergvall to make him look bad as well. You know, there's opportunities where this sort of stuff could have been done and it didn't have to be in that sort of game.
No.
For me, anyway. That's just where I am with it. I just think it was a disgusting decision by the manager to play him in that game, in that specific game, in that position.
Especially with no one.
And it showed, though, because he's hooked him off.
Yeah.
At half time.
It would have been different if he'd have put him with a senior member, like Node said, a Basuma.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
a couple of senior players.
Basuma and Gray, both holding. Then maybe.
Yeah.
But not on his own in there.
Not with Bergvall either. You know?
No, not two kids in the centre.
Not two 18-year-olds, whatever they are.
No.
Anyway, let's just sneak through the chat, shall we?
Yeah, have a little look then, mate. Say hello to everyone.
Yeah. Eugene, big up, sir.
Big up, Eugene, mate.
Yeah, big up, mate.
Thanks for popping in, fella.
Not sure who this is.
No, must be that geezer at the bottom.
I wouldn't trust him.
No.
I'm not saying a word, much. No word.
Well, we saw from the protest, Britain's Most Wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Front page of the Sun, wasn't it? Or one of the pages in the Sun.
Yeah. Watch this geezer chat. He's
But honestly, I was hoping there was a ward because I know where he lives.
Listen, if he was on the front page of the Sun, he'll be rivaling Sava soon, won't he?
Oh, Rich is here.
Hey, page 5 Sava.
Yeah. Rich. Oh, he what? Oh, all right. I added him and you added him.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you added him, mate.
There you go. He's in. Rich is in.
Yeah, but honestly, I was hoping there was a reward for his capture because I know where he lives.
Honestly, no, I'm telling you, Nigel's on the front page of the Sun for the protest.
Yeah.
Sava's down at Wapping doing page 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all happening. It's all happening. So it's you two are rivals, I reckon, down at the Sun. You're keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Go on, Mark. Carry on anyway. Got off subject. Yeah. I hope you're all right, Rich. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for popping on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hi, I've got a bit of delay at my end.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, no, it's all right now. It seems to come right.
Oh, sorted this off out. Good.
Brilliant.
Right. Corey Boy, Bergen. Not sure who he is.
He plays for Doofland, doesn't he? He plays for Bodo, doesn't he, Berg?
Oh, does he?
I think so, yeah. I thought he was one of the players. Perhaps he was one of the players that was carrying a knock or something. I don't know. Perhaps Corey had put what he means.
Yeah. Right. Just sub to Nige. Anyone who hasn't.
Yeah, anyone who hasn't, please sub to Nige. Thank you.
Oh. What's the point? Evening, come on. Is Ronnie playing snooker, is he? I take it that's Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, or it might be.
He might be. I haven't watched any of that.
I haven't. No, I've been doing other stuff. Been doing other stuff.
Oh.
Hello, Rich.
Here we are. Hello, mate.
Myself.
Heard Levian talks.
Oh, from the boy Hotspur. I'm looking into that. We will look into that.
Yes.
I haven't read anything about it, so I'm not going to comment on it. Like, to be honest, I don't know if Nigel or Rich has seen anything about that at all.
No, what I did see was on Savas, he was speculating that Levy has held fire on sacking Ange purely on the premise that come the end of the season, Paratici is going to come back with Gabbianini and this new guy from the Gooners. Yeah. And that if he'd have sacked Ange and got a manager that ultimately none of them fancied, it might have put them off, Paratici off joining and starting the whole thing again. So that he's held off. We're still in Europa. So I guess what we got to hope is what Sava was saying, and I completely agree with Sava on this. Hope we win it and we fluke it in the final. They sack Ange at the end of the season. Paratici comes back. and they replace the whole footballing element of it, and we get a proper manager. That's all we can hope for, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Good evening to Wayne Francois.
Big up, Wayne. Thanks for being in, mate.
Big up, mate. Thank you for coming. I'm worried for Vicario tomorrow night because God knows what the defence. Well, it's going to be Romero and Van Ven, I would have thought.
Yeah, it'll be the standard, won't it? It'll be a Doggy and Porro either side with Van de Ven and Romero starting. I'd imagine that'll be the starting four.
Hopefully Spence sneaks in. Right. Luke's here.
Big up, Luke.
Big up, Luke.
Make sure you get over to Luke and subscribe as well. He's just dropped a video on some of our YouTubers' predictions for Bodo tomorrow night. So there's a bit of good viewing there for you people. You can get over to Luke and watch that on Spotlight on Spurs.
Yeah. Big up, Mark. Mark Army.
Mark Army. Mark Army, sir.
Loving the yellow top. You got a fan already, Rich?
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Change for Tottenham, and it's a classic, this one.
Yeah.
Excuse the man boobs, but yeah, I'll try and flash it.
The old Hummel top.
Yeah. I remember Gascoigne wearing this in the snow. What a top that was.
Oh,
is that the away one from 1990?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, with the
Yeah. I had the home one. I had the home one of that.
I've had the home one as well, but I wouldn't fit in that one now because I was only about 9, 10.
Wear it as a skin suit.
How old would I have been? 19. I'd have been 11. 1990.
Ooh.
Psycho teacher. Good evening, mate.
Big up, mate. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, and someone I might hit Ben's Thursday. Smithy. Big up, mate.
Big up, Smithy, mate.
Great to meet you at long last. Great to meet you at long last Thursday.
And I will meet you at some time, Smithy, when I actually get my act together and sort myself out. I will be there.
Paul Kirk.
Can't stand that guy. I don't know who that is. Is he me?
Hope it's not me. I've only just come on.
I don't care if it's me.
I'm sorry, Paul. I don't know if you've mistyped or something now. I don't know.
Oh,
1-0 winter.
Score update.
Good start.
Well,
I believe this might have something to do with you, the next one.
Do
you, Rich?
That's to do with you, that one, Rich.
Oh, yeah, that's daughter number 2.
There you go.
Like and subscribe and all that.
Yeah, I told them. I told them about everyone. I said to them, no trolling and nothing relating to Anjin.
Just hit the subscribe button.
Oh, brilliant. You're welcome, Luke. You're welcome, mate. Anytime. You know that, mate. Anytime.
The Mod Father.
Big up the Mod Father,
Big up, Ben. Do you want to come on, Ben? If you want to come on, Ben, I'll whack you the link. But I know you do phone Mrs. Ben.
Happy birthday for tomorrow, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Happy birthday tomorrow, Matt. Ben. Definitely. But you're more than welcome to come on, Ben. Just let Mark know if you want to pop on, mate.
The big 3-0. The big 3-0
tomorrow, is he?
Yes.
Bless him. Bless him.
Yeah,
only 27 years to catch me up, Ben. I'm getting old, mate.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Bloody hell. I can't remember when I was 30. I can't remember yesterday, let alone 30.
No. That was mad that time. There you go.
Yeah, here we go. The old Gaza yellow away shirt.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Change Tottenham on and I won't surprise me if that's up. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Luke, that.
Yes, we all remember that.
Oh, yes. Long ago, that was. Wow. That was a long time ago.
My neighbour. Big up, neighbour.
Big up, sir. AE. Hope you well, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Phil Coys is in the house as well.
Oh, he is. Evening.
Evening, Phil.
Evening, Phil.
Well, mate.
Oh, now Ben saying he's gonna chill with.
Fair dues, Ben. No worries. You know you're always
no
welcome,
worries,
mate.
Ben.
You know
Have a
you're
great
always
day tomorrow,
welcome.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be in the chat if you're streaming tomorrow, Ben, if you get the chance to stream.
Well, he said it's 50-50. I think he might be going out for lunch on his birthday.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, I'm not speaking for him, obviously, but that's what he said.
Yeah. Fair dues.
Yeah.
Nice one.
One more just popped in.
Here we go.
Emily Gold, yellow, red, ripple, vanilla ice cream from the 1980s. Yeah, we can all remember them.
Yeah, it's like raspberry ripple stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And Cockney Geezer's just joined.
Big up the geezer. Thanks for being in, mate. Nice one.
Big up, mate. Good evening.
Nice one. So, Rich, we was just talking about the Liverpool game and if you would have changed anything from the side that Ange picked, and was there anything that you wasn't happy about with the starting 11, that type of thing? Nige is just, I think you've answered that one, Nige, and you and Mark. So
yeah,
come to you on that one, Rich, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I heard a bit of what you said about Archie Gray, and I do wonder whether or not he stuck him in there almost as a bit of a retort, shall we say, to the fans calling him out for not playing in midfield.
Yeah.
And he just thought, you know what, 2 fingers up to you. I'm going to put Archie Gray in midfield then. You wanted it? Here it is. But again, I can't say for sure he's done it. Could be reading too much into it. Either way, he's hung him out to dry.
Yeah.
And if you put him in, like you say, you put him in with a Bentancur or a Basuma. You don't put him in with another 18-year-old and James Maddison, who at the end of the day is not a defensive-minded midfielder. So I think it was really poor. I think that whatever he did, and against Liverpool, you know, it was going to be. Look, you know what I feel about Ange. You know what I felt about Ange since November 2023. I can't stand the guy. I can't stand his interviews. I can't stand the way he interacts with fans. I can't stomach the way he sets the team up. I can't stomach the way he embarrasses us on a weekly basis and deflects. And I think he is the ultimate in, I don't know, adding another layer of pure garbage to what is an already terrible ownership. So, yeah, that's what I think about him anyway, just in case you'd forgotten. But on the game, I think the point is, it's a disaster. Every game is a disaster because in the Premier League anyway, teams know exactly how to set up against us. They know exactly what to do. There's just no point anymore. And he should have been gone months ago. So we can all sit here and we can call out team selections. But, man, which personnel he puts in there, there's no structure to our play. There's no patterns to our play. They've got no idea of where each other are. The midfield aren't a midfield. They're covering for the wing backs. So they're in wide areas. He's basically getting the worst out of every single player. Yeah. So I know we've got, I know it's one of the questions you guys want to talk about, but without sounding like a broken record, I've just got nothing to add about it in the sense that it's just a mess from top to bottom.
It is, isn't it? It is. Right now, we have some score updates. Inter Milan are now 2-0 up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right? And a masterclass on counter-attacking football. So you can win with it, see?
Yeah.
We won't be getting Inzaghi then, will we?
They're doing it against one of the best teams in the world.
They're not too shabby, are they, Barcelona? No. To be honest.
No, they're not bad.
No, they're all right. But they're sort of 50% of Tottenham, aren't they? To be honest.
And what's the point? As said, this is at Barcelona as well. They're doing this.
My goodness.
Barcelona are at home. Right
now, neighbour, I feel sorry for you. He says he's going to the Palace match, which has now been moved to Sunday. I believe. Well, I could see you there, mate, because I believe we're going for the protest.
That's not.
Is that the protest?
That's the protest, yeah. It's only in 11 days' time, though, or something, isn't it? 11th of May, isn't it? It's not this weekend, the weekend after. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that. Well, I'm going to bite the bullet this time and get a train ticket to go up.
Yeah.
instead of spending 2 days going to Nigel's and then travelling up.
Yeah. Well, I'll speak to you about it off.
Yeah. I was going to say nothing personal, Nigel, but that nearly killed me.
It's all right. It's all right, mate.
You know, it was a bloody long old 2 days.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, Mr. Edwardson, if you're going to the game, may I pass on my condolences. What have you done wrong? Are you on community service as well? To be forced to go to that.
You must be.
No, I mean, you must have done something wrong to be forced to go to that.
Bless him.
There
If
we
anyone
go.
wants a ticket, by the way,
Oh yeah.
mine is unsold on exchange. I'm not going. Well, I've made a vow. I'm not going while ever he's manager. I'm not going to another game. So I'll support from afar. I'll always get behind the team. When I'm in the stadium, I always get behind the team. But while this manager's there, I just can't do it. So if it doesn't get
I'll be honest
sold,
with you, I had a much better day walking along the high road doing the protest and then going in the coach and horses and getting sloshed.
exactly, happy days. So if anyone
So that
wants a ticket, who's in the chat, not a problem. If you've got a CRN and it doesn't sell, special for you.
Man.
There you go. Can't be fairer than that from Rich C. Ticket available, but you need a CRN number.
Block 101.
There you go.
In with the posh lot, innit?
Ticket. Yeah.
Don't know about that.
In the posh stand.
There, aren't I, so.
So, where did we get up to? Solanke, Mark, you were talking about. Nice header. We go 1-0 up, poke the bear.
Yeah, it was poking the bear, wasn't it?
And then you saw, I don't know, the same old Spurs, really, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Same stuff, what we've been talking about week in, week out. But what I have noticed, and I don't know even if I can call it because it was of the occasion, but we're almost playing like we've got no passion or pride. You know, and it's not just the Liverpool game, you know, 2 or 3 games before that as well. And Mark knows, I've spoke to Mark, you know, we obviously speak a lot. Nigel, I speak to you off screen as well. And we're always banging on in a WhatsApp group about where's the pride and the passion, especially over the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks. You know, and it almost disappoints me that they've got that shirt on. And I know I'm a bit old school, you know what I mean? But, you know, perhaps the youngsters of today don't understand that, what it means to wear that shirt, you know, for our club. And you're walking out on a Sunday afternoon against a team that's going to give you a right game because they're playing to win the league. So that would be the least that I would expect. But it's sort of, like Mark said, we've gone 1-0 up, poked the bear, and then all of a sudden, everything's just gone wrong.
And the Bears turned us over and bummed us relentlessly for the rest of the game.
Barstow got one back, by the way.
There you go.
Game on. I think that's all we asked for, isn't it, as fans, is to leave everything on the pitch, regardless. And I know we've got a massive game Thursday, and it's all about the Europa League, apparently. But for me, we need to be winning league games as well. And I can take losing. We can all take losing. We've been Spurs fans long enough to know that we lose games and we're going to lose games. But what you want to see is passion and pride for that shirt, like you say, Mark. We'd all do anything to wear that shirt and run out on White Hart Lane or Anfield, wherever we're playing.
Yeah.
And some of these players don't look like they really care, kind of playing like they're half trying, which is the biggest disappointment for me.
Put it this way, right? I went a lot in sort of late 80s through the 90s to the early 2000s. I went a lot to the old lane. Right now, especially in the 90s, after 91, we had some pretty average teams. Let's just call them average. But every game I went to, win, lose, draw, the players gave 100%. And there was a pride in pulling that shirt on. You know, even though the team, especially after 91, when we nearly went bust and it all got dismantled, The team was fairly dreadful, but you always had that one superstar in there. You know, your Ginola, bit later. I know this is a lot later, but Gareth Bale's. You know, you always had a Ginola in there to get you off your seat. You know, and every player, even Ginola, who was a star anyway, he knew what it was to play for Spurs.
Yep.
And he tried his heart out in a very average team. Let's be real here, because, you know, especially after 91 when we nearly went bankrupt, the team was decimated. We had to sell Gaza, West, we would have been bust. Lineker left, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and we just had an average team. It was made up of, you know, and then we did bring in Ginola and people like that, but they gave their all, you know, like we would do.
Yeah.
You know, even at, well, certainly mine and your age, Mark, you know, if we got the chance to run out at the new stadium and play for Tottenham, I'd give them the best. Well, I'd only last 5 minutes, but, like, you know, I'd certainly run my heart out for 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Just think about a player like David Howells. I mean,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
He wasn't by any means a great player, but he absolutely, you could always guarantee a 6 out of 10 he'd work his absolute socks off every single game. Steve Sedgley.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not talking about players with bags of ability here. Technically, you're talking about players that do legwork and just run and run and run and never stop. It doesn't look to me like they're playing for the manager. And I know it's an easy stick to beat the club with, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. And you can't have a team that are so clearly drawing their own conclusions about when they want to run and when they want to play. And it's clear they're all giving it all in Europa because they think, right, we've got a chance of being flat trap bullies in this competition because we've got an easy run and we can win something, make a name for ourselves. And in the league, you're down tools. And these fans that are coming to watch them in the stadium are probably day trippers. He won't boo them. He won't do the leave you out chants because all the ones that are like that, like the likes of us, stay away because we're so despondent about it. So unfortunately, we the protests are now even more important than ever.
Yeah.
But you're going to get fans that are apathetic because if Levy's sat there not firing this manager, I say kid, he's nearly 60, isn't he? This manager. Why should we give a toss if the very man that presides over the whole footballing structure employs people like Munn and Lang and Ange, and he accepts it? You know, why would anyone turn up and go hundreds of miles to these protests? We don't all live in London still because we've moved away. Why would we bother? But we do. But they won't get the numbers that we need.
I'll tell you a true story. Right now, last Thursday, obviously, I was at Ben's for the day. Big up your cappuccinos are very addictive, very nice as well. And I was looking for food, but I abandoned the food in the end. I just went for the beer. And I thought, I know, I'd go coaching horses. So I got the train, Northumberland Park, walked down in front of the South Stand, right? And I'll tell you what, walking past that ground, apart from the cockerels that's embedded in the concrete, in the walls, and you can see like Andreas Vaca and all that written around the corners of the building, you would not know that was a football stadium. You would not know everywhere. Ben versus Eubank, because that was Saturday night.
Yeah.
You versus Ben everywhere. Everywhere. You know the two signs on either side of the ground?
Yeah.
The next game and that? It had Ben Eubank. There was posters up. I saw nothing. Unless you looked at what's built into the concrete, like the cockerel and that, there was nothing to say that was a football stadium. And it's not a football club anymore, in my opinion. It's just an entertainment value. It's entertainment venue that a game of football breaks out every now and again.
Mm.
You know, it's soulless. Absolute. Like, I walked past it and I thought, I used to love coming here and going to the lane.
Mm.
You know, I just walked straight past it. Straight past a lot. I got no interest in it whatsoever.
Hopefully, we'll fall in love with it again soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's true. I wanted just to go back to the football side of it. I wanted to ask you all a question. I saw an interview today. I don't know if any of you saw it. Wayne Rooney was speaking on the overlap. Now, he was talking about Man United. He wasn't talking about Spurs, but obviously Spurs is forming the league. Man United's forming the league. You know, we're rubbish. Their fans will say that they're rubbish, even though they're only a few weeks into their new manager, a few months, into their new manager. Now, Wayne Rooney today was talking about, they were talking about how Amorim chops and changes the team and he can't find out what his right team is. Well, we know what Ange does when all his players are fit. We know who he's picking, right? So that's fine, that part of it. But what he did say was, it's very, very difficult when your league form is so poor just to be able to turn it on just like that in the Europa League, and everyone thinks, oh, we're going to go and win tonight. He said, as a player, for him, confidence was everything. So how he's getting battered 5-1 away on Sunday, doing anything for confidence for the squad going into Thursday? That is the question that I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry if I went round the houses a bit. But
the thing is, with 5-1 on Sunday,
mm-hmm.
It could have been 10.
Right.
It could have been 10 easily. You know, it's all right. 5-1 is still a battering, but Liverpool were through. Well, to be honest, the first half they were 3-1. The second half, we didn't even lay a glove on them. You know, it was all right. Yes, we were going to lose anyway, because, like I said, we were just there for the party, and we were told to sit in the corner and behave yourself. You know, but then we had the audacity to take the lead, and it's like I said, that's just poking the bear. You know, it is. You just poke the bear, and he woke up and clawed us to death.
But,
you know,
what's it doing for the confidence? We've won since Southampton. Was that the last league game we won? The Southampton game. Have we won again since then?
No,
in the league.
Well,
have we?
Well, and if you, I think Frankfurt was after that, isn't it? So
yeah, in the Europa, but
we haven't won a league game since then.
When you're carrying such poor league form, right, over a period of time like we have, confidence is going to be low because you're getting done every week in the league. So I get where you're coming from. We scraped through against Frankfurt. We did what we had to do and we got through. We're happy. We're through. But now we're going to go and play a team with the same tactics that Ange used, because I've seen the pictures myself. So we're going to go there, we're going to be at home, but we're going to play 2 at the back, just like he did against Bodo when he got done 5-1. Right? The pictures are there. They're exactly the same as what we're seeing now and have seen over the last 2 years with our defence. So they're coming to us. If we're playing like that, surely that's going to be lovely for them on the counter. Would you not say? I don't know. Give me your views, chaps.
Can I go on this?
I know where this is going.
Well, it goes on the overall point that I hear these people and I see them in the chats. Most of them are probably Australian, or I can only assume that they just want to passionately support their compatriot because they want to get behind them. And I completely get that. We all want to see somebody doing really, really well in a sport that's not traditionally associated with that sport. And we all wanted it to work. We all desperately wanted it to work. Thing is, it's it's becoming like we're stuck record. But after the first 10 games, we've seen zero adaptability, zero progression, apart from when it's forced on us and the players themselves sit back.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is you don't give a manager who's failing so badly, so consistently for 18 months any more time. You give somebody who's showing good signs of improvement in their second year, you give them time. That's the point. He's not showing any signs of. We've been kamikaze nosediving since those first 10 games, and nobody can tell me any different. So it's just, I don't know. I'm absolutely astounded that he's still here. I'm astounded that he's still here. And I can't even remember what point I was going to make because I'm still so astounded that he's here.
Yeah, no. But put it this way, right? If it was an Englishman in charge, doesn't matter that he's Australian. Anyone who's in charge of Tottenham, I want to see him do a good job. You can see that the team's improving. We're on an upward trajectory, not regressing and going backwards. So I don't care who the manager is. Just show progression. All right. There's times when we won't have the constant progression because shit happens in life. You know, Levy don't back him and get the players he wants. You can understand that.
Mm.
But I can't think of one player, maybe one, and he's doing that naturally, that Ange has actually improved. Bergvall was the one I was thinking of, but let's face it, he's maturing and getting better naturally.
Yeah.
It's not that Ange has improved him. You cannot say with the squad that we got that we are 17th in the Premier League. No
With
way.
an average coach, we should be top 6.
Exactly.
I'd say with an elite manager, we could be pushing top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, a second tier manager. An average manager, we should be 8th. Sort of just a run of the mill manager who plays the players in their right positions. He sets them up. They all know the distances between each other like the back of their hand. They know where each other are in time and space. That's top 8. You go a level higher than that to like a second tier manager, top 6. You get an elite manager, dare I say it, like Antonio Conte, who can play to what he's got. You're looking at challenging top 4.
Mm-hmm.
I
and you're
believe.
seeing progression, and you're seeing young players being coached properly, and their futures being protected. Because if this is a project that we're building for, let's face it, we're building a team full of youngsters and potential. You want to protect your best assets. You don't buy a car that's worth, I don't know, a lot of money, and you don't and not service it, do you?
No.
You take it when it says the little spanner shows up and it says service in 3,000 miles. You keep it on your radar and you go and service it, don't you? Don't just ignore it until there's red lights on everywhere. And that's what the club have done by hiring this lunatic. They bought some really potentially very good assets, and they've just essentially left them without maintenance to get absolutely pushed, going at 100 miles an hour the whole time, burning them out, and it doesn't make sense on any level. If it's a youth project, give someone who can a good job who can coach them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, Rich. We're desperate for a coach, mate. We're desperate for a coach. It's just whatever they're doing.
Now, I believe we said it on the very first show we did, Mark.
Probably.
We compared our squad with the rest of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I think we had us
about 7th.
About 6th, 7th, that area. Yeah. Certainly wasn't 17th.
No.
Or 16th, wherever we are.
No. So it's all about the coaching at the end of the day, Mark. I think we all know that. Do you know what I mean? And the tactics and the system and so on and so forth. That's what's missing from what's the word? Our on-field play at the end of the day. And I just find it astounding that so many people can see it. And it's not just about us in here. There's lots and lots of people that are not YouTubers or TikTokers or whatever you want to call them, or us, I should say. it's just opinions at the end of the day. And for me, I don't care if he wins the Europa League or not. He's got to go. That might be an outlandish opinion. I know. And again, this was another topic I wanted to speak about because we'll come to it later. But I just want to know from you guys why there's so many. What are people seeing? But I just don't see. I know maybe that it's sort of gone from 80% Ange into maybe down to 60 now. I don't know. I get the gist that some people are seeing the light, if you like. But there's still a lot of people that are backing this fella.
I think it's
like
when
I'm backing the team. I want the team to win, the same as all of us do, but I can't back him because he's just.
But it's like I agree, but it's like when you date a really hot woman. She's absolutely stunning, but she gives you a load of red flags, and you know it's not right, but you keep trying anyway. And I think this is the same with Dejan Jinners. They know that he's not the man for the job, but because they've said he is, they're just doubling down. And I think most of them realise he's not the man. And I think most of them have come to terms with the fact he's probably going at the end of the season, but they're not going to admit it because, well, I don't know why, but
that seems to be the thing these days. No one can admit when they're wrong.
No.
If we win well, to be honest, if we win the Europa League, we've got to come on. All of us have got to come on and say, well done. Well done. We don't think you're the man for the job, but well done.
Yeah, but remember, when and if he wins the Europa League, regardless of what you think of his football, how dour he is in his league and what, we think the barometer should be the league, right? He'll be our most successful manager for 2 decades.
Well, yeah, winning something, it helps.
You know what I mean? So he will have that label. He wins that cup. He gets that label, and I'm going to struggle with that, man.
Well,
just because of watching 18 months of rubbish and having such a lame draw to get to where we've got to. Everyone dreams of having, but it's business end now. All the teams that are there deserve to be there for whatever reason. They are where they are, the semi-finalists.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I want Spurs. I want Spurs to win, man. I just can't back him, Nigel. It don't matter. I don't know how to put it without it sounding wrong.
Well, it's hard to say. Look, we all want Tottenham to win. We all do. We all do. There's not one of us here that don't want our team to win. But when we've been subject to this for the past 2 seasons, all right, season and 3 quarters, because you can take 10 games out of it.
Yeah.
The first 10 games was bloody brilliant. Everyone loved him, But then the Chelsea game happened and you could see the writing was on the wall when he come out and said, I don't care if we had 7 men, I'd still play like that. And you was thinking, well, hang on a minute, that ain't right. And then if you look at the form for the rest of that season, we dropped off a cliff. We did literally drop off a cliff. And so the writing was on the wall then. And then this season started with 16th. Could be 17th if West Ham beat us on Sunday, Saturday, whenever it is. Sunday, obviously, because we're playing Thursday. But we could be 17th. And it's only the fact that West Ham, Leicester and Ipswich have been that terrible that we ain't down with them. To me, to gauge aside the levels of your team and where you are is the league form. That's the barometer for a season.
Yeah, I absolutely hate all this. And I know it's right and you've got to say it, but I hate all this most successful manager if they win a cup. Look at our last 3 cup wins. Well, our last 2 cup wins. Wandy Ramos, George Graham. 2 managers I couldn't stand. If Ange wins the trophy, it'd be another manager I can't stand. But yeah, great, we're winning trophies. But none of those managers made me love Tottenham, as my camera goes off again. The manager that made me love Tottenham was Pochettino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last time I felt really connected with the club.
Yeah.
And I hardly went when Poch was manager. I went once, I think, when he was the manager. But I felt really, really connected with the club. Every game we was on, I was confident we was going to win. Did we win all of them? No. But I knew that we'd give it a bloody good go. Not the nonsense that's on now. I got no reason to love the club anymore. No reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and also the run we've had in the Europa. I mean, like, you can only play who you're drawn to play against. I get that, but we were very lucky to get to where we've got to. And let's face it, we did it on a penalty, and we showed some balls. Don't get me wrong; the players dug in for each other, not necessarily for Ange, but for each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could have had 2 within 6 minutes if that guy had, got his finishing boots on. They should have won that game. Frankfurt had all the chances to win that game. I don't care what anyone says. And it's just by it's like a sliding doors moment. We're still here talking about this manager. But can I just point out about West Ham, right? They won although it was a tier down, fine, and it didn't get them Champions League the next year, fine. They won the Conference League. Look at where they are now.
Yeah.
Have they been elevated as a club by winning that? Don't get me wrong. I want Tottenham to win this. I'm not saying I don't. I absolutely do. What I really want is I want the same chef that made that infamous lasagna all those years ago to rock up at the training ground, serve it to Ange only, right? Ange has to stay on the toilet with the shits for 5 days before the game and 2 days after, so his face isn't even there when we win that final. And he's not associated with it at all. Any of the photos. So Mr. Lasagna Chef, who used to work at the Tottenham training ground, if you're watching this, please get in touch and I'll try and find a way to plant you in that training ground now and to serve Postecoglou only in person. I want the recipe for your lasagna, mate.
Nice.
There you go. So Rich, in all honesty then, really, you'd just like him not to be there tomorrow and the players do it off their own back. Is that what you're saying?
Quite frankly, yeah, he look, I've got to call a spade, and I know you guys don't mind people straight talking.
No.
I find his press conferences really, really, and it's an overused word in modern society, but I find them really deflecting, toxic, narcissistic, and horrible. I don't like him. I don't think he's a nice bloke. I don't subscribe to this whole, he's just a mate. He's just a really nice guy. He says it how he is. He deflects. He talks about moles. He talks about the pitch. He talks about VAR, even though he doesn't talk about VAR. Excuse after excuse, blaming the fans, shouting at the fans, blaming kids taking videos of him, giving his thoughts on life and society to deflect. I can go on and on about all the stuff he's come out with. Contradicts himself, forgets what he said, anything at all, just to control the narrative. And I've met people like him in real life, and I avoid them like the plague. And he's one of them. And they walk amongst us, chaps. Beware. And he's our manager. And the sooner he goes on a slow boat, chained below deck, back to Australia, and the sooner we get someone who's humble, who cares about the fans, who wants to interact with us, and who wants to build bridges to our fantastic fan base, because we are loyal. We have put up with years of this. All we want is a plan that we properly stick to, and incremental, slow signs of improvement, and doing things the right way, coaching these young players, all singing from the same hymn sheet, all getting behind the team, what we're doing, believing in it. Not someone who turns on the fans.
Wholeheartedly agree, Rich. Wholeheartedly agree with everything you just said. you know, and that's what will build us, I don't know, back to becoming something at least. You know, it's like you can't expect to be where we are now and then be fighting for top 4 next season. Not with what we've got now. That'll be a 1 in 100 that a manager comes in and somehow manages to get this squad to just be flying just like that. You know, it's going to take time for Tottenham to get back up to where we were, you know, a few years ago. It's 17th, 16th, whatever it is. You know, I said it before, it disgusting ain't a strong enough word for me. And, you know, no one's entitled by any means, you know, but 16th, 17th is taking a piss, isn't it?
We weren't even that low, man, in the sort of mid-90s when we always were sort of mid-table-ish, you know? We weren't never... Well, there was 1 year, wasn't it, when Redknapp had to take over and we were literally bottom. Yeah. We had 2 points after 10 games or so.
Yeah.
And Redknapp come in and we finished mid-table. But that's who we need, a manager like Redknapp. Come in, arm round the players. Come on, you're not as crap as what all the people on the TV are saying and all. Because you got to remember, back when Redknapp came in, there was no like internet like there is now. There was no podcast. There was no this. He just put his arm around the players and said, whatever they're saying on Match of the Day, take no notice. We're going back to basics. You're the defenders. You defend. You're the attackers. You attack. Yeah. And he took us from bottom of the league. I believe in his first season, we finished something like 8th or 10th or something. I don't know if I haven't researched it, but we finished mid-table. In the second year, we finished in blood Champions League spot.
One thing I'm hanging on to is it's been such a bad season, and we can still obviously win something, that for me, trying to look positively, next season can only get better, surely. So it's only ways up from now on, I think, as long as Ange goes.
Yeah. And I think whoever comes in, as long as he does go, I've said it before, again, must have their own coaching staff, chaps.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Whoever comes, if they want to get this rolling and try and do whatever they're trying to do, we must have a coach to coach these players. And it's not just the kids as well. You know, the senior players. He might have a different way of playing that they haven't played before, you know, or there's tweaks to it or whatever. So they've got to learn as well. You know, patterns of play. They've still got to learn them. They've got to learn what he wants. So, you know, the players need to be coached. We need to have tactics, need to have a system, you know, and teach the squad. Don't just teach your favourite 11. Let's have a coaching who teaches the squad, who's, you know, and I think we're quite a forgiving fan base, especially if a coach wants to come in and he does want to pay a youngster here and there. I don't think any of us would have a gripe about that, you know, blooding youngsters in here and there. You know, I haven't got a gripe about that. I think it's, you know, go on,
That's why it's so important. It's why it's so important to me that Ange has to go in the summer. We can't be, if we win the Europa League, you know, give him 6 months. No, he has to go, because if we keep him and then 3 months down the line next season we get rid of him, we got to bring in a new manager, whole new coaching staff, and these players have got to get used to a new way of playing. You got to remember, these players have been drummed into him Ange's way for the last 2 years. And yes, they're professionals, but it's going to take them a while, like you say, just to learn just to play normally again, probably. So for me, it has to go. We need a summer with a new manager and a pre-season where he can implement his own style, and hopefully the players can get back to some sort of normality instead of these crazy tactics that we play every week.
Well, I agree with you, Nigel. And what I want to say is on that as well, there's been a lot of rumours flying about that we're going to be of a bit of a got to sell first before we can buy. Now, I don't know if it's going to depend on certain players, whether they are up for sale depending on who's coming in or whether Ange goes or not. But there's been, obviously we know there's rumours been flying about for weeks now that certain senior players are not happy. Now, I just wanted to ask before we get on to Bodo on tomorrow night, whether he's here or not, who would you expect to not be here next season?
Can I go on this one?
Yeah.
Firstly, I'm doing this on the basis that Postanoglu isn't here.
Yeah.
And that we've got, I've looked up his name, so I can never pronounce it. I know he's already coming in, definitely. Vinay Venkatashem from the Gooners, who's coming in. He'll replace Munn, like Sava said earlier. Gabbianini will place Lang, and Paratici will come in and overseeing it all. So they're cleaning. I think Sava's right. I think Levy's cleaning the house in the summer, getting the coaching staff gone. Matty Wells, I think he's a great guy. I think he'll go and find success elsewhere. Ryan Mason, I wish him all the luck in the world. He's been a loyal servant. Hope he does well. And then in terms of the players, I think if we win Champions League, I'm dreaming now, back to 2019. If we win the Europa League, right, and we spawn our way to that, whatever happens, Cutie Romero, he's made it clear, off he goes to Atletico Madrid. We've got Sonny, who they've extended his contract by the automated thing. They've not offered him new terms. So I think he's off to Saudi. You've got Richarlison. He'll probably be nailed on to go back to Everton with some funky dealings there. You've got Yves Bissouma, who, as much as I think there's a player there comes a point where, for everyone's sake, you've just got to think, well, if an offer comes in, it's Dago. If an offer comes in, Yves going to go. Decky could be a sacrificial lamb, even though I love him. And Bentancur, even though he's like a Rolls Royce, he could be brain dead at time. I think he could be on the market as well. So I think there could be some big names like them going, and possibly Porro.
Yeah, that's interesting. Evening, Brian. How are you, sir?
I am very, very good, Mark. Good, sir. How about everyone in the room, everyone in the chat? Rich C, my brother, how you're good. Nige, happy birthday for tomorrow, my man. And obviously the sheriff and the cook. There's so many marks and so many names. But I hope everyone is good and well.
Have you still got jet lag, Brian, or have you recovered?
Mate, I got back. Yeah, I've been wide awake since 4 a.m. on both days, and it's now 4 p.m. here now, and I'm almost crashing again. But it is what it is. We'll ride it through. I just hope I'm not feeling like this tomorrow when I'm back home at the yard.
Brian, jet lag's horrible, mate. I hope you feel better soon and get yourself some your sleep pattern back, mate. I think that's the most important thing. Trying to get that.
That's how. I mean, I feel fantastic. Just exhausted.
Yeah.
Just exhausted.
Yeah. Get where you're coming from, mate. Yeah. So, how long does it take, Brian? Canada? What is it? 7-8 hours? Is it? Or
always 8 hours? When I say always 8 hours, 8 hours flying home, or around 7.5, 8 hours, which it was. It was 7.5. Flying to London is anywhere between 6.25 to 8, depending how fast the wind is going in that direction. It's always quicker to London than it is to Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Mark on the phone, or is he talking to us? I don't know. He's on the phone. It don't matter. I think.
No. Sorry, I'll mute myself. But coming back to this country is always faster because they search the jet stream out.
Yep.
And the jet stream goes sort of, if you look at the world map, left to right, and they follow that, and the plane can get up to virtually supersonic when it's coming back.
Correct.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I found that when I went to New York, it was 8 or 9 hours going out, and it was about 7 coming back. Yeah, which is very similar because Toronto's sort of above.
Correct.
So
Brian, I've got to ask you this question. I know we've checked out a bit. I know you've checked out on the football side of it a bit, and you're pissed off with it and everything else. I just wanted to ask you a question. What I asked the lads earlier. When you're getting smashed up every week in the league, and then everyone's expecting all of a sudden, oh, boom, we're turning it all on its head. It's the Europa League. We're going to beat them just like that.
Yep.
Wayne Rooney was talking on the overlap today about confidence, Brian.
Yep.
What is that doing to our players' head? Does it affect them in these games that are coming up on a Thursday? Especially like now, we're at the semis. We are where we are. Do you feel that affects them at all, Brian, or is it just like, no, Sundays is Sundays, we're on Thursdays now?
You'd like to think it, or you think it's a bit of both. If you look at it, the way he's heavily rotated and there's no cohesion to get players familiar with playing with each other. The tactics seem to change. For Europe, we'll go pragmatic and defensive and keep our shape. Premier League, we'll go jumpers for goalposts and see what it does. But they all say it. They all say it. You hear Roy Keane talking about it enough. A winning mentality is winning games.
Yeah.
And when you cross that line, every single player should cross that line wanting to win and put in a shift to reflect. To say, right, well, I've done my bit. Well, what did you lot do? And that bit, to me, just isn't happening at the moment, especially in the Premier League. And we all know the records that keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
All being the records we don't want to hear about. But tomorrow is a massive game. I keep saying too many times on moments like this, the Spurs players play the occasion, not the match.
Yeah.
When it should be the Spurs fans making the occasion, the Spurs players play the match. If Spurs go out tomorrow and play the match, we'll get job done. Absolutely no doubt about whatsoever in my mind. Mm-hmm. If we go out and play the occasion, it could be a lot tougher than what we think, in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah. Anyone else got anyone to say anything on the confidence point?
We ain't got none, have we?
About tomorrow, I think we're going to beat them handily tomorrow. But they've got a shed load of players out. Yeah. We're at home. The players will be up for it. The crowd will get behind them, even though I'm not going. So that, but what I think is going to happen is we're going to beat them handily tomorrow. But then come Sunday against West Ham, which is their cup final and bragging rights, and I think that should be a massive game as well. I don't want to see a drop off again in the way we approach that game, because that will again disgust and appall me. If we beat Bodo Glimt tomorrow, say 4-0, which I fully expect us to do, no excuses. You've got your players. Cut the crap, get the job done tomorrow so you can go over there on their plastic pitch and get a result and get through to the final. That is a given. I don't care what anyone says. Any manager with this team would expect to do that, especially with the amount of players they've got out. But then if we rock up to, it's not Upton Park, is it? To whatever Olympic Bowl, Solus Bowl they've got now, and we get turned over by the Hammers, you've again shat all over Spurs fans and what it means to play for this club. So, again, I don't want to be negative, but it's what this season is done to me.
Mm.
That's a concern, isn't it? I mean, regardless of the result against Bodo, West Ham, I just see us resting loads of players, not putting out a full team, not being at it, and and a lot of fans will be like, "Oh, it's all right. League don't matter. It's all about Europe," which I kind of get it is, but you still want to put in a performance, especially at West Ham. And last thing we want is to be 17th.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Mark, are you all right for a minute? Just to ask you, 5 minutes, Mark.
Yeah, mate. No, mate. You carry on. I know.
Carry on a minute.
Yeah, no. You carry on. Yeah, I know. Like the league form, your league position is a barometer of where your club is. You know, always is. It always is. Now, with this season, when we got into the Europa League, we was favourites before it started. Right? I was expecting the minimum for a club of alleged size, I say that like alleged, would have been to win the Europa League, because we were favourites before a ball was kicked, and get at least fifth in the league. Not one or the other. Certainly not be 16th or could be 17th if we lose to West Ham and get to the Europa League final. That's not acceptable for a club of our size, or alleged size. You know, it's not. The league position where you finish is a barometer of how well you've done in the season. The cup should be a bonus. As a Spurs fan, certainly the last 10 years, you can say, if we're not up around the Champions League places, it's disappointing. You know, if we're not at least sixth minimum, it's disappointing. But, you know, it's just gone so pear-shaped this year. You know, the manager doesn't learn. He's like horrible to the fans. I think he knows he's gone. That's why he's like, you see him getting like, you know, he's having his goes at fans, and he's bit aggying them with the pressers, and he never does a sensible press conference, does he? There's always one little bit where he gets a bit aggy with them.
The thing is, at the start of the season, Mark, we're so desperate for a trophy. I can remember loads of us saying, we'll take 17th if we win a cup.
Yeah.
You know, and we probably didn't mean it, really, thinking about it now, because now we are pretty much 17th, and it's horrific. But I can remember growing up, and I'm sure you can, guys, and we got to a cup final, we'd win. You know, there wasn't often, you didn't often think, we might lose. We got to a semi-final, cup final, we'd win. And there was a quote that was put on Sava's show earlier, which I found A, funny, but B, just sums Spurs up at the moment. And someone put in the comments, when Tottenham can, they don't. And I just think that sums up Tottenham at the moment.
It certainly does. It certainly does. You know, I mean, but, you know, just the way that the club's been, I mean, we all know who's to blame. We all know the real reason of who is ultimately responsible for the club's demise. But it doesn't help when you've got a crap manager, you know, because, you know, as much as the top man is to blame, you know, not investing in the squad, all the money we got coming in now, all of that. Look what we done under Pochettino. Constantly overachieved. Constantly good. Can you imagine if Pochettino had the backing that Ange's received? We'd have won bloody 2 league titles.
Well, it's not that when people mention Poch, obviously people will talk, when you say backing, you're talking financially.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is Pochettino had a little blip when he first came, but then obviously after Harry Kane scored the Aston Villa free kick, it just went through the roof. The first real sustained amount of pressure of him not doing well or setting himself the standard set by the club or him, we sacked him.
Yeah.
Forget the finances. Forget it. You got to remember, we had a far superior team now to what Ange had. We had them all coming into their prime. It only needs a bit of tweaking. Football finances have changed a lot, and I'm not defending Levy with this at all. Far from it. But I think what you got, the most important thing to look at it is, we're all going on about how we wish, if anyone deserved to have a blank check and say, right, what do you want? I'll get it. Pochettino had earned that chance to be able to go, right, I want this, this, and this, and get it. But obviously he didn't. But the one thing that really annoys me about this, when we start talking about Pochettino and Ange and is the first real sustained period of bad form we had, which we could say went over a calendar year, not just the start of that season. The cracks were starting to show because the team was getting stale. The one time that things started falling off, rather than going, do you know what, manager, I'm going to stick by you. You've done this, 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 and this for XYZ years. This is your first blip or bump in the road. I'm standing with you. You got rid of him.
Yeah.
That's the bit that gets to me. Not so much the finances that get to me with this now, because whether I like to say it or not, Ange has had more money than Conte, Mourinho, and Pochettino. So yes, the buying has been horrific on a fair few purchases and the amounts, but the main thing is the time that Ange has been given for the lackluster performances, the back-to-back defeats, mainly the Everton-Leicester one, and Poch paid for his job with it, whereas Ange seems to be able to walk on water.
Yeah. You're right about the sort of scouting and the purchase of players. I mean, some of what we've seen coming through the door, I mean, they weren't like buying all these youngsters and that. Yes, you should be buying youngsters, but surely buy them with experience as well. I got no problems with Archie Gray and Bergvall come in. If an Eze or someone like that had come in as well, people are just going to improve our first team immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Archie Gray, I mean, I feel sorry for the lad because of the value
Well, so do
that he's
I.
been bought for. It's not his fault what we paid for him, but we bought a player who was what Levy perceived the fans wanted. And it was a bit of he had his eye on him for a while. He had a bee in his bonnet about him. And he thought, oh, this will appease the fans because he's the next Steven Gerrard, say, the next big thing. So we've overpaid for potential that we didn't need now. And he's not the player we needed now. What we needed was an Edgar Davids sort of player who might not be in the prime of his career, but who comes in, who everyone in the squad looks up to, and who grabs everyone by the scruff of the neck and doesn't laugh on the bench when things are going wrong and cover their mouth, who actually has the balls and the reputation amongst world football to say, right, this is the way we're doing it. I'm not accepting that. And everyone would look up to them. And Andrew said he wants to grow leaders. He doesn't want to have ready-made leaders. Another bullshit statement. But we need leaders more than ever in this club.
Yeah.
We don't need kids. So if it's Gabbianini that comes in, who's looking for the players, and Paratici, and they've got, imagine if Poch came back. This has all been going on behind the scenes. They paid him out, going to pay him out of his American contract. Paratici comes in, Gabbianini comes in. I'm just giving an imagine session here because I've got to have some positivity. And imagine we do things the proper way, proper scouting, proper coaching. And let's say we're just challenging for top four for 2-3 years, right? Before we really kick on and before we really then turn it into, right, we're going to spend 100 million on a Declan Rice or on a Benjamin Sesko up front, whatever it might be, to really put the final cherry on top. Spurs fans had absolutely no problem. Let's say we have a nightmare season, we finish 6th, but we can see that we're building and we can see maybe we've had a couple of bad bits of luck or there's been a bit of a drop off, but we can see the plan. That is all we're asking for. We are not prissy little madams when it comes to supporting this club. We are the most loyal, dedicated fans. Our away fans travel home and away in numbers, although the few of them did sell the tickets for the Liverpool game, but we won't go into that. And I can't blame them at this point. But you get my point. We just want to see a plan a proper plan, not a Mun Ange plan on the cheap, a plan.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Maybe the slightly bigger wages to facilitate that. I don't think we're going to ever spend our Villa levels in terms of what we receive. No one's asking Levy to risk that just to level up. So you've got a player who's on, I don't know, 200 grand at the top tier. Then you go a level down, 180 grand for the next level. And then, you pay the youngsters well. There's some random thoughts there.
Yeah. You honestly, Kem just brought it up. I love these fans just coming rolling. You know what? These are the things that used to get me to fight and snap and go nuts.
No, I know.
Now, do you know what? It's got to the point now where it's just sheer entertainment.
Yeah.
It's sheer entertainment how far and how they are putting things into this. I mean, one of them
Please
goes,
like and subscribe.
No, it's when they go on and go, if we believe he'll win the cup. What happens when we don't? What happens when we don't? There's so many other things I could go with there. And normally, like I said, a couple of years ago, I would have cut Rich off and dissected each and every. They just make me laugh now. So, Rich, if you saw me sniggering, it was nothing about what you were saying. It's just the fun that I get now and seeing these people actually take time out of their days to troll and say things like this, whether they believe it or not. It just makes me laugh.
I've not seen what they said, Joe, so I can't see the chat.
Well, it just makes me laugh, especially one where it goes, one team can only win the Carabao Cup, one team can only win the FA Cup, blah, 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 blah. When we have one team that's won the Carabao Cup, Newcastle, who've replaced us in the Big Six, and have also been relegated, not had a new stadium, not had concerts, blah, 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 blah. They've won it. Crystal Palace, again, who have been relegated on multiple times since our last trophy, are now there. And it's been 34 years since we've last been in an FA Cup final. 34 years, and we're the first team to win it 8 times. 34 years. It just makes me laugh. And they're saying, give Ange time. Give Ange.
That's a troll. That's a troll.
Oh, wait, it's brilliant. It's just I just want to applaud the dedication to it. It's brilliant. I just find it hysterical now.
It is.
It's hysterical.
It is. It's laughable.
Yeah.
It is. I even think Ange himself knows that he's out the door by the way he gets aggy with the media and that, and the way he's been like aggro with the fans.
Well, on that note, right, why is Levy, this is the only thing that gives me the sort of like EBGBs, right? If we're all right and Sava's right, and I'm thinking that he's lining up the next manager and everything's going on in the background, he's doing a clear sweep of all the footballing operation, why is he allowing Ange to go rogue on these press conferences? Why has the club media department said, right, Ange, you are only answering football questions. I don't want to hear your opinion on smartphones. I don't want to hear your opinion on moles. I don't want to hear your opinion on anything other than answering directly football questions and try and keep it yes or no and just a bit of expansion. And P.S., shut the fuck up, mate. Why have they not done that? Why have they not muted him? That's the only thing that makes me skeptical and think maybe he's going to be here next year. And I'll tell you what, like I said in the chat, if he's here next season, I will sell my house and check myself into the Priory.
Wow. There's a statement for you people.
Yeah, no, listen, I know, Liz, I just responded to Dan. Agreed. What I'm saying is teams that have been relegated during the time that we last won a trophy, haven't moved to game-changing stadiums, haven't got 62,000-seater stadiums, don't have concerts, don't have NFL, don't do this, don't do that. They're all getting to finals. They're getting to finals. Me and Ben Daniel was talking. If Crystal Palace win the FA Cup, 9 of the 20 teams that are currently in the Premiership team, so that's 10 if you include us, would have won a trophy since the last time we won one.
Yeah.
So you can keep going on about it. It's just utter madness. And what you got to remember as well is I was actually one of the last ones to join the Ange out I was totally Ange in and backing him big time. And I said, a manager needs time. I want to see a project through. And then after the Arsenal game, at the filth and the lack of fire, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And now you look at it from January to here, how can anyone defend it? 19, I mean, we all know, I'm not going to keep going on the stats. He didn't win in his first year, but then he went and won pretty much every single year, including 4 back-to-back. Also, don't rise. You almost got me, Aussie Ange. You almost got me. It's just madness when you look at it.
I know, man.
Just make sure you subscribe, Aussie Ange.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah. And to Dagan as well, and to Nige. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You look at it now that these teams are surpassing us. They are, in getting to finals, in doing things. But yeah, we get. Oh no, mate, Dan, it weren't taken in any disrespect whatsoever, buddy. Don't you worry about that. No, nothing from you, mate. I love you to bits, mate. It's just this is where we are right now. This is where this is coming to a point where when you have Crystal Palace, we have a chairman in Crystal Palace when we've gone for Eze or tried to go for Guehi that play Levy. Is that no? Spurs wanted to play from Palace back in the day. Chris Armstrong, for example. Wayne Rat, off you go. As soon as Spurs put stiff in, done. Tottenham are about. Bigger sharker in the tank. Now it's like, all right, Levy, come and play us at your own game. We're being left behind. And like I said, in this time, you look at even Forest right now having a stellar season. They were relegated for 20 plus years. Haven't got a new stadium. Haven't had Premier League money. Haven't had, yes, it's only one season, granted. But they've come into the Premier League. For the first 2 years, they're in relegation struggles and deducted points. Now look at them. Aston Villa and Newcastle, both, again, relegated in recent history, have surpassed us.
Yeah.
And like the Sheriff said as well, when it we all know what the main root of the problem is, but the manager has been a joke. And do you know what? I loved him. And like I said, up until January the 16th, no matter what you said at me, I'd have been, nope, Ange in. Just can't do it anymore.
We all know the root of the problems at our club. We do. And that starts at the top. But believe you me, Ange he's lower level, but he's the one that takes responsibility for the results on the pitch. And the results on the pitch have been terrible. Let's just get that. Now, they've been disgusting. 16th, maybe 17th if we lose to West Ham. I said before you come on, Brian, if it wasn't the fact that Ipswich, Southampton and Leicester have been that terrible, we'd have been in amongst it, fighting with them. And would you have trusted this guy to get us out of a relegation scrap?
I have to say, Aussie Ange's last comment. Ken came in before and said top gold level trolling. Ken, I think he's actually just got into platinum. I think I
just read some of it. We're getting there.
Mate, do you know what? Honestly, this is just the comment you're about to bring up. I'm not. I say it doesn't even need dissecting. But
here we go.
3 times manager of the month, worse than Stantini, worse than Ardiles. I tell you, we have the worst fans in the country. If Ange had become a figure of 8, oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, no,
Is he a flat Aussie Ange? Do you like Donald Trump, Aussie Ange?
Mate, no,
do you like conspiracy theories, Aussie Ange?
It's hysterical because this is where, and this is the bit I find funny. This is what is deemed a success now, that he got manager of the month for the first 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
When we were top of the table and had a points amass that only one team in Premier League history had not got top 4 for having that amount of points.
After 10 games, Brian, that was.
Yeah.
That was a stat.
Yeah. After that 10 games,
Yeah.
So it just makes me laugh. This is now what we did. You want to say that this is what with Spurs fans?
Yeah.
You're now gauging that winning Manager of the Month 3 months in a row is now something.
It was on Sky Sports after 10 games.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Top trolling.
After 10 games, when we were top, Sky Sports News had a thing up, and it said 96% of teams that are top after 10 games get top 4. So we're one of the 4% that don't, because we finished 5th. After that 10 games, the form nosedived. Nosedived. You fell off a cliff.
Can I just butt in a minute? I just want to make one small comment, if that's all right. I'll see Ange. I just wanted to say, are you happy that if we don't win another league game this season, that your manager is going to have averaged 0.97 points per game?
Worse than our history. Worse than our history.
Just give me a yes or no in the comment. You know, stop banging on about winning the leagues. We're not a team that wins leagues. We've done it twice in our history. You know what I mean? You know, this is not. We're not talking about getting Ange out to get someone in that's going to go and win us the league. We're talking about better football. We're talking about people that go to watch this every week. People that watch it on telly every week can see that it's the biggest load of shit that's ever hit Tottenham Hotspur. It's as simple as that. And if you can't see that, I don't care whether you're 50, 60 or 70, you're not watching what we're watching. I don't
think football's your sport.
Honestly, it's just it's honestly, I don't know how other people just can't just sit back and laugh and enjoy. I enjoy this now. I so enjoy this now. Since I had my kind of, let's say, factory reset or upgrade a few years ago, when I was like, right, I'm not going to bite to these trolls. I'm not going to. I just look at it on the other side now. I just find it brilliant. I think it's absolutely hysterical. I bet the person that is typing this, whoever they are, aren't even an Ange Postecoglou supporter.
No, they'll be pissing themselves or Guna.
No, they're just saying it because there's people that will rise to it.
Yeah.
And not see it for the humorous side. It's brilliant. It's absolutely. I mean, for Nige, this must be like a comedy birthday present for you. It's like just sit back,
love it,
and just laugh at this stuff.
Just say big up to the homie.
It's just absolutely brilliant. I find it comical. And if that's how they want to spend their time, geez.
Brian, you know what it's like on here. You know, I just said my little piece. I'll say it as I think it is. I'm not going to tell Porkies to keep people happy in a chat. You know, it's their choice if they want to be here or not, whether they're trolling or not. So, but I'll always give my honest opinion. You know, I'm not. You know, and that is what it is. So I don't know if anyone feels any different to what I said at all. You know, to me, he's just like, he was gone after Chelsea, mate. He weren't my manager anymore.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If we do lose the rest of our games this season, he will go down as our worst manager ever. Most losses. So I think the record in a 38 game season is something like 20 losses.
For us, I think, yeah.
For us, in a 38 game season. There has been more, but that was when it was like 42, 44 game seasons. Whatever it was, you know. But like, I think the most we've had in a 38 game season, since there's been like 20 teams in the Premier League, is 20 losses. We're on 19 now, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And we still got to go to Villa Park. What have we got? 3 games left. We're at West Ham. We got Villa away, aren't we? And we got Palace and Brighton at home. So we got 4.
4 games. Yeah.
I reckon we get 1 point out of all those games. 1 point.
Aussie Ange, I need you in my life. I need you.
I'm getting to it.
I need you in my life. Honestly, you are like vitamin D to me. And you're still the man to lead us to the promised land of the Champions League. We must aim to get to the final of it next season and win it. Mate, honestly, I bow to your. I honestly, thank you. Mate, look at the. Thank you, Aussie Ange. It's brilliant.
I'm honoured, to be honest.
Do you know what? Rich will know this very, very well. Actually, we'll all know it. We're all of the age. Again, I'll go back to, and I know all the commentary off by heart. If people remember the 91 FA Cup win, when we beat Portsmouth 2-1 and Portsmouth went 1-0 up, Gazza scored a header, then he scored another goal where he dummied kind of a play and then shot into the bottom corner. And John Watson said, "It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant." Aussie Ange, that's me to you today. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I came on this stream. Not only to talk to you guys. He's brilliant. I hope to see him in as many streams as possible. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Can I make 1 point about the first 10 games?
Yeah.
And it's probably, again, a well-trodden path that a lot of people have already pointed out, but I've got to point it out again. Those first 10 games included VAR gate with Liverpool, and literally Kulusevski causing a ballistic missile going off in the South Stand against Sheffield United with that last-minute winner. Don't get me wrong, because my father-in-law is from Sheffield and brother-in-law, and so I loved that, right? But we won those 2 games by the skin of our teeth. He had a lot of luck in those first 10 games. Make no mistake about it. Yeah. And since then, you look at our record, it has been shocking. It's just so simple. It's just so simple. I don't know what more people need. I think it's Daniel Levy tormenting all of us just because he wants to get back at Daigle, maybe.
Oh, like I always have a case to back my points up. Sure, yeah.
Come on,
yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
I'd love him to. I'd love him to.
Aussie Ange, do you want to come on? Let us know in the chat if you want to come on.
I would.
Bring your didgeridoo.
Yeah.
I would. And do you know what? I'm actually going to say, Leo, who's in the chat, has been very, very, to his credit, whether you want to say to his credit or to his detriment, whatever way you want to look at it. Like I've said with Simeon, I've said, you know what, Simeon may be completely crazy for how he stood by Ange, especially since I had my eyes open, but I have commended his principles. I've commended his, right, I'm sticking to my guns. And you know what, Leo was very much of that as well. He was very much, Ange Postecoglou, Ange is going to get it done. We need to have faith. And it may have been because Leo, and I didn't get to see Leo when I was in London. I'm sorry, bro. I was just so busy with all the family. Even Leo, I've seen today in comments, and he's left it here. He's like, things have got to change. Things have got to change. You know what? If we'd been in, let's say, the top half of the table, 10th, 9th, whatever, and where we are, I'd still be Ange in.
Yes.
I would actually still be Ange in. And
I believe you would. I believe you would.
And I would have carried on defending him. But it's just the way I can't accept. You know what? It's not even. I was one of those that said, give me 17th and a trophy. As we all say, like in hindsight, not even thinking that it could become a remote possibility. It was tongue in cheek. But you know what it is when we were crap back in the 90s, and I mean crap, we knew we were crap. We knew that getting 12th or above and beating Arsenal and a good cup run was a good season.
That was the aims. Wasn't it?
The one thing I never, ever questioned or doubted in those dark days and those dark times were the players who were nowhere near as talented as what we got now as a collective for a lot of those seasons. Whenever they walked off the pitch and I was at every single home game, unless ill or whatever, I never doubted their commitment to the badge. I never did. I never doubted that they had a run through a brick wall. I never doubted that they gave everything they could and they ran off exhausted. Well, now the level of performances are unacceptable. The teams of the night, go back and check the results in the 90s. Apart from when we got tongued by Newcastle 7-1, we didn't go to Anfield and get hit 5-1s.
No.
We may have lost 2-0s, 3-1s, whatever. It wasn't absolute hammerings. And other grounds we went to.
And we weren't so open either. We weren't so...
Exactly.
We never used to play with two at the back.
It's the manner of the performances.
Yeah, agree.
I'll be honest, Brian, right? I obviously know Arsenal people, Chelsea people, just me mates around here, you know? And, like, they don't even bother trolling me anymore. They feel sorry for me. You know, when Chelsea beat us the other week, I was waiting for my phone to go bing, 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 bing. All messages, Facebook messages, WhatsApp messages, text messages. I had none. I had zero. Everyone just feels sorry for me now. They can't even be bothered to like troll me anymore. Although I did send a message to one of my Arsenal mates about the bottle job after last night. I couldn't help myself, but even he never answered because even he feels sorry for me.
Well, you know the other thing that made me like when people are talking about Liverpool and what did we expect? They're the champions, or would have been as they are. Blah 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 blah. We were going to get tongued by them. Oh, we were resting players for Europe. A few weeks ago, before I came to London, Southampton went to Anfield, who were at death's door before they got it confirmed. They lost 2-1. It might have been 3-1 in the end. They went 1-0 up. They gave more fight. And I don't care what team Spurs put out as an 11 starting. Every single formation you try, Spurs can put out a stronger team than Southampton. Southampton lost, but they gave more fight at Anfield than we did. And you'd think the players that started at Anfield would want to fight and put in a performance to try and make Ange go, do you know what? Maybe he deserves a game on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it
just baffles. It's just baffled.
Listen, we'll just change the subject slightly. Another 20-odd minutes or so. Be a couple of hours. Just going on to tomorrow night's game, just a general, have a chat about it between yourselves. Are we expecting any changes from the team? Any tactic changes? Is it going to be the usual two at the back? I'm just asking in case anyone may have a differing opinion. Could it be? Is he just going for it tomorrow? What do you think personally? In your own heart, what are you thinking is going on tomorrow?
I think he's going to play proper wing backs, 3 at the back, Richarlison coming off the left up front with Solanke, a proper midfield that actually plays in midfield.
Stop.
Whatever you've got, can you send some up? Like, can we all have some?
Rich, that deluded take, all right, that you just give there, I'm giving you the opportunity to start again, sir. Crack on.
I'll take it all back.
What's your thoughts, Nigel?
I don't see him changing his tactics. I think we are going to go for it. It's going to be interesting to see what the midfield is. I am a bit concerned that he might drop Maddison and play Kulu in his place. I'm hoping not. But I think it's going to be the usual back five. I don't see a lot of changes in midfield. I think it'd be Bentancur, Bergvall, and one of Maddison or Kulu. And then I think it will be Solanke. I said last night it'd be Solanke, Johnson, and probably Odegaard.
Okay.
Personally.
Fair
To
enough.
be honest,
all of Aussie Angie's big hyping up, all of his love for him. Tomorrow's result 3-2.
yeah, there we go.
Well,
See-
3-2 tomorrow tells me that we probably
After all
won't get
that, for God's sake. After all
Brilliant.
that, they've got about 6 players out.
I'll be honest with you, Aussie
Lose
Ange.
it.
I'll be honest with you, Aussie Ange. As much as
mate.
I've slated him throughout this whole show, I'm going to be more positive than you. I'm going for 4-1.
It's brilliant. Honestly, Aussie, I just hope one day you come out and reveal who you are or
Yeah.
join the stream, because, mate, yeah, honestly, it's just top level. It's top tier. It's top tier.
I'm going to say 4-1. Let's face it, right? They've got 5 or 6 players out in our stadium. Hopefully, just pray the atmosphere is on fire, like the Arsenal game when we beat them 3-0 and all that. You know, I believe if we really push and push and push and play well, we could end the tie tomorrow night. Well, to be honest,
I agree.
to end the tie tomorrow, we got to be at least 9 goals in front. So I don't trust us going over there
11.
on a plastic pitch and all that, you know. So if we win,
Go on, sorry, Mark. Go on, bro.
no. So if we can win like 10-1 or so, I'll be quite confident we can hold out in Norway, but not completely confident.
I hope the team come out and put in the exact type of performance that we put in against Eintracht Frankfurt away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Vicario's got the ball at his feet, Hoof it as far away from the gut, no pissing around on the ball. I think it's essential that we play that way. I just don't understand why we haven't done it more in the league. Again, if you did that more in the league, again, we could be looking at a different way that people view Ange. It really could. And like Leo said, everyone wanted this to work. Everyone wanted it to work. Everyone was like, all right, let's see what you can do. We've got, like Danny the Hotspur says, all he had to do was play the ball forward and it would have been an improvement to a lot of, and correct it was. I'll tell you now, I went to the Fulham 2-0 when they knocked us out, the 2-1, when they knocked us out on penalties at the Carabao Cup at Fulham. Big up, Barbaric, one of the nicest men you could ever wish to speak with. I went to that game and he made a wholesale changes. It was like, oh, whatever. But then I went to Burnley away, the 5-2. For 15 minutes, Burnley were on top of us. They went 1-0 up. We took over, and I'll tell you now, I had never seen an away fan stand like that during the game. So early in a manager's career, the place was bouncing. It was my first time but the place was rocking. It was like literally we were going for the title, and it was like the end of the season, and we needed, like we were chasing Leicester, and we had to keep winning. It was absolutely outstanding. I went to the Emirates the first time when we drew 2-2.
Yeah. When
Maddison set up Son for both goals. I said that game, all I want to see us go and show some fight. Because so many times we go to the filth, there's no fight, and I was like, listen, if you go to the Emirates, just give everything you've got, and if you lose, you lose. Just don't do what you normally do and choke. And we should have won that game. We were magnificent. Magnificent. We should have got the win. And I was like, here we go. This is, and then it's just all gone. So, like I said, the next season at the Emirates, I became Angel because we must have shown enough fight for 3 games in that first one, because the second one there was none. And everyone wanted this to work. I know Corey's in the chat saying he didn't want him from day one. Whether you didn't want him from day one or not, people wanted it to work. It's not a case of, I was Ange out first. I didn't want him from. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what it's about. What it's about is this manager came in. He looked like at the beginning he was cracking jokes with the media. He was having fun. You wanted to hear what he had to say. We're playing a brand of football that no one could figure out what the hell was going on. and we were getting those performances. Like Rich said, you look at these performances in that run, the Sheffield United last minute, a 1-0 to Luton. The Liverpool there were games there that it wasn't, oh my God, we absolutely walloped them. We had the rub of the green, but a win is a win. And everyone was there going, do you know what? This looks like it could be something. But he hasn't.
Put it this way, right, Brian? Any manager that comes to Tottenham, all 5 of us on here, and everyone in the chat wants them to be a success and win us stuff.
Of course.
We all want that. We all want that. You know? But there's only so much faith you can have in someone when it obviously. I'm getting to that comment in a minute, Brian. I'm just having me say. But there's only so much faith you can have in someone when we're constantly getting pummeled every week. The tactics, we can all see it. I don't know a lot about football, but we can all see the tactics are absolutely, it's like playground football. It's like all chase after the ball.
It's what Brian calls it, isn't it, Mark? Jumping for goalposts. Yeah.
It is.
Every time. Go on, sorry, Mark.
No, but we can all see. There we go.
I have to say, every time when you think Levy can't get lower, just when you think Ozzy Ann just peaked, he comes up with another belter that far surpasses it. I'm all on board this ride. Yeah. Remember, Arsene Wenger did not win a trophy from 2005 to 2014. So you conveniently forgot the Invincibles the year before. You completely forgot the two league titles and doubles that he won before that gave him the credibility to have that time. Oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely, honestly, mate, it's got to be someone we know. It's got to be someone we know. This is top tier trolling.
Do you think it's Danny Kiriakou?
Mate, you need to get. No, it's not. It's not Danny. No. It's not Danny. But whoever it is, you need to get your own channel. I'll subscribe. I'll come on, whatever you want, because this is mate. This is just brilliant. This is just brilliant.
He's telling you he's single as well, Brian. He's coming on to you.
No. It was
just messing about.
Oh man, it's brilliant. Honestly, it's absolutely outstanding. Honestly, I'm so happy. Like I said, I got to talk to you guys, but this has been brilliant. This is honestly. Is he in your streams a lot, Marks?
No, it's the first time.
First time.
Okay.
That's why I said please like and subscribe and all that stuff.
Ozzy Ann, you're always welcome. Don't think that you can't come in here, mate. You can say what, as long as you're not rude to people in the chat, you can
mate,
say.
Please like and subscribe to the One Tour, please. I don't care if anyone else on this channel or in the chat does, which obviously you're all more than welcome. But Ozzy Ann, I need to see you in my chats. Yeah, honestly, honestly, look at the smile. This smile on my face. We're talking about. Oh, mate, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
There you go, Ozzy Ange. He will subscribe. There you go.
Delighted.
I'll put his. I believe it's. Is it? Hang on. Let's have a look.
I'm sure.
There we go. There you go. I'll put your link in again, Brian.
There you go.
Brilliant. Thanks.
You can subscribe to that, Ozzy Ange, and Brian will be forever in your debt.
Oh, mate, I'm tempted to go live later on tonight just to make sure he has. Just going to go on saying testing, 1, 2, see that he's there and go, right, end stream, he's here. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Well, just to have Martu Pennisworth, I think just because they've got so many players out and we're at home, we'll win 3-1. And if there's any other result, but at least a win, and I don't think that's enough. I think we need 2 at least. We've got to be 2 in front to go over there, knowing what we're like away from home.
4 for me.
Oh, there you go. 4 from Brian, 2 from me.
Here you go. I will subscribe, look.
I will subscribe. Oh, as long as I know how to live. See, I'm singing. Gloria Gaynor because of him.
It's taken us a real twist, hasn't it? Yes.
Oh, mate, this is the way you've got to look at it. I just have listen. I spent a lot of my life, or a lot of my YouTube life, being very, very angry with the abuse and blah, blah, that came my way because of Levy and blah blah blah. But honestly, I kept biting and biting and biting. Mate, just do a 180. It's the most refreshing thing any YouTuber or people in the chat could do, rather than arguing back. Just join in the fun, because that's all it is. It's fun.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Brian, the new Brian, I remember the old Brian.
Yeah.
That used to go on anywhere, any sort of comments against you, you'd bring them up.
Yep.
Right. This new Brian is marvelous.
Oh, mate,
I much prefer this new Brian.
Oh, mate, I much prefer being this Brian. I much prefer being this Brian. It's so much more easier, light-hearted. I still get those bad comments on from people on We Are Tottenham TV that put it in YouTube or in the live chat.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me.
Well, you've told us the story. You've told us the story about the one with someone put something about you and how many likes and all that. We've heard that story. You know, so I mean, it's a laugh at the end of the day. That's the only reason we do it.
It's all it is. Barbaric, I can promise you it's still there. Just go and watch my We Are Tottenham TV against Leicester and Bournemouth. It's still there. But how I address people is completely different. Never feel scammed, buddy. Never feel scammed from me. I love Barbaric. I love that man. Honestly, there's so many people in this community I love. I say it, but Barbaric is the top man.
Yeah, brilliant. That's fantastic. So, did you give a scoreline, Brian? Did you give a scoreline for tomorrow night?
No, I didn't.
What? Is everyone comfortable on the panel that we win tomorrow night? Just firstly of all, before we go.
Listen, we're Spurs fans. Don't ever say comfortable.
This is why I'm asking the question. You know, I don't want it to sound, so repetitive. You know, I'm trying to just break it up a bit.
Let me ask you an easier question, Mark.
Go on,
does everyone think we will keep a clean sheet?
No,
I actually do.
No, I said 4-1. I said 4-1.
Yeah, I've gone 3-1.
When do we keep a clean sheet?
Now.
Very rarely.
I think I keep clean. I think I keep more clean sheets than Tottenham, and that's a bloody miracle at my age.
I don't think we keep it. I think we win. I don't think we keep a clean sheet. But thank God away goals don't matter.
Big up, James.
I love it. Happy anniversary again, James, to you and the wife.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
But yeah, I don't think we keep a clean sheet, but I do think we win.
Oh, there's a comment here for us, man.
Oh yeah, I just saw that. Yeah. Okay,
Whenever you're
James.
ready, mate.
I'll owe you to it. Just
Same here.
And Brian,
we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
Mark, we'll do it next week for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to speak to you backstage about that, Brian.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But James, just send one of us a text. Let us know a date and a time when you want to do it, and you've got half hour free, and bang, we'll get it done, mate.
Yeah, half hour, 40 minutes. That's all we need.
Yeah.
There's a 4-1 coming in.
It's the fans' fault that we didn't finish fourth apparently last year.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like it is right now, though we're 17th. Nothing
2-1.
to do.
2-1. Yeah. Oh, Angus. Now, is this to Bodo or us? I've just got to ask because, obviously we know you support them.
It'd be interesting to know if Angus thinks we'll beat them because...
Yeah, because he's put 2-1, but he didn't say who.
Yeah, well, Angus knows about his Celtic days, with Bodo. So I'm just a bit sceptical of that, because, we don't know the calibre of player that they've got in their squad. Does it drop off? Are they of the same sort of level? And, he's laughing again. I think he's laughing at
Daniel, like I said, just go. It's so much more. I don't mean this about any other, but there's channels, and there used to be Tottenham on tour that would just snap at all these, and you'd see the chat. Tottenham on tour, make sure we have a very respectful chat.
Yeah.
Guys, how much more fun is it for people in the chat? This is just going along with the flow and just having fun banter rather than getting abusive, rather than getting, because obviously there's chats. I don't just mean Tottenham. I mean all YouTube that just get vile in the chat, vile in the comments afterwards. It's just so much more refreshing just to go along with the flow and laugh and joke about with it rather than really start getting annoyed and biting.
All we've ever said in this channel, put what you want in the comments, but do not be abusive to any member in the chat or anyone on the screen.
That's it.
Anything like that, no.
We're all up for the banter. Trust me, everyone, especially in the chat. You know, we're quite happy to have Angus is in here. He's Arsenal. You know, we know there's a few others that pop in that are Arsenal, and Daniela's West Ham. I'm sure she's up for a bit of banter. You know, when she's in here. So you know, there's nothing wrong with having the banter. No one's stopping anyone doing that, especially in the chat. You know,
don't get personal with it.
Don't get personal. Don't get racist. It's a
Can I reply to the troll though? Can I just reply to the troll? I know he's doing mega trolling, but in response to that, because this is the thing that tipped me finally to being Ange out, him going in on the Spurs fans with the whole controversial Man City game last year on the 14th of May it was. What I can say to that is, if we hadn't been so absolutely hopeless in the 2 games before that, lost at home to Arsenal with a whimper 3-2, got battered by Liverpool again 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
After that, had shocking results against Newcastle. Just trying to actually bring the games up so I can be factually accurate. I can't remember them, but the point is, right, it's again another deflection from Ange. Blame the fans, pile in on the fans. He lost me and many others then. That does trigger me. So good trolling. Well done, mate. Well done, my man.
That's it.
There you go.
He got a bite there. He got a bite, but he is funny.
Just a little one. Just a little one. Rich, it's all right. Nigel, come on. Break it up a bit.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Angus, we haven't even mentioned that, look.
We haven't got round to that yet, Angus. That's the last. We're going into 10 minutes overtime to that, just so look, Brian can get and Rich can get stuck into here and Nige.
We weren't going to mention it.
No, that's for the last 10 minutes, Mark. That's
mate.
That's the extra time bit. At the
Yes,
end
boss. Yes, boss.
Yeah. No, I haven't forgotten about that. Don't worry, Angus. You're all right, mate. Anyway,
it's coming.
Yeah, we've got another 2 minutes of the Tottenham piece to go yet. Just one quick question. Over the 2 legs, do you expect us to qualify for the final? And then we'll let you lads crack on with it. Go on.
Yes.
Anyone can go?
Yes. I think we win comfortably tomorrow night. I'm as confident as I've been for a long time, actually, with Spurs tomorrow. I think we'll win 3-0. And I think that should be enough for us to go through. Obviously, this is Spurs we're talking about, but, you know, like I said, so much negativity this season it's really got me down. So this week only, I'm going to try and be positive and going 3-0. We're going to go through. And, let's see what happens.
Yeah, fair dues. Anyone else want to have a go?
Yeah, I'll go now. And then I think 3 or 4-0 tomorrow. I really do. There's no excuses. They've got players out. We've got all our players, barring
Sonny.
Barring what's his name? I lost my head today. It's been a long day.
Sonny.
Barring centre back, Romanian centre back.
Oh,
Dragusin. Yeah, we've got everyone pretty much bar Dragusin. No excuses. I think we do them 3 or 4 tomorrow. We might probably draw 0-0 on that plastic pitch there, and we're going to Bilbao with Mr. Postecoglou. We're
happy days. Brian?
What's the question again?
Over the 2 legs, do we get through?
What about that Arsenal?
Okay, right, well, we're into extra time now. We know Angus is here. Happy days. We've finished with the Tottenham talk. I'll just give it all that for the Tottenham talk.
Yeah.
Brian, Rich, Nige, anything you'd like to say to Angus and any other Arsenal fans?
What I will say very quickly before we do the ribbon, and I go at Angus a few times because he's very, very tunnel visioned. He just thinks Arsenal are the best. Arsenal. One thing I will say about Angus, and I said it on our show earlier on today, he always turns up. Well, after a defeat, whether it be the league's gone, whether it be they've lost the semi-final of the Champions League, whether it be Angus is always here, and I respect that. Like sections of our fans will only turn up if we win, or some will only turn up if we lose. Yeah. No matter, I'll go and we are Tottenham TV, win, lose or draw. No matter what, I'm there after every match day, whatever. Angus shows up. Angus does show up. Listen, Paris Saint-Germain I think they've been fantastic in the Champions League. They've got rid of all the big Galacticos. Do you remember when Real Madrid had the Galacticos? Yeah, and they couldn't really get it over the line. Then they lost the Galacticos and became a team and then got it over the line. I think they've been incredible. Put it this way. If Spurs had played that game yesterday, it wouldn't have been 1-0.
It would have been 12.
Yeah.
They've got hammered, wouldn't they?
Oh, without a question.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not going to banter Arsenal too much because I'd love Spurs to be in their position. You know, second in the league, semi-final of the Champions League. Obviously, I hope they get stuff next week, but you know, to be Arsenal at the moment.
Rich, anything you'd like to say about Arsenal? What can you say, really?
Got lots of Gooner mates. Nothing but love. Healthy rivalry, but love.
Yeah.
And I want us to be challenging them and up with them again so we can have a proper bit of banter again. But at the minute, I have to bow down in deference to them. I've got nothing to say to them. They won't win anything, though. So just enjoy it while you can, lads. We'll be back eventually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mark?
Well, as I said earlier, not even my Arsenal friends, I say friends in inverted commas, they don't even banter me anymore. They feel sorry for me.
No.
They feel sorry for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, not even they banter me. So, I'd give my right arm to be in their position. Semi-final of a Champions League, second in the league. We can only dream of that, man. Where are we? 16th, soon to be 17th. And all right, we're in the semi-final of Europe's second competition.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, yes, it was good they lost, and I did cheer when Paris Saint-Germain scored, obviously, but you'd expect nothing different from me. But I can't actually banter Arsenal because we're all jealous that they're in that position. You know, so what more can I say?
Yeah.
Yes, do I want them to lose? 1,000,000%. I wanted them to lose the previous round, but they didn't, against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But I got no reason to banter them.
Fair comment, mate.
I can't banter them.
No. At the end of the day, whether we like it or not, they're head and shoulders above us.
Yeah.
Head and shoulders. Do you know what I mean? And you're right what you say. They haven't won anything, but you know, at least their fans are turning up to their own games and actually, you know, in general in the league this season, they're putting on performances. You know, they're second in the league. They're the second best team in the Premier League. We're the 17th or the 16th best team in the Premier League, and that's where I gauge it from. Brian's gone again here.
I just can't. I just can't. And the one before where he used the word context for 25 years. And listen, managers have got sacked. Managers have been sacked for doing better with less money and smaller squads. But it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Honestly, it's, and the thing is, he's speaking like he doesn't realise how Levy out everyone is on this. If put it this way, this is the question that I'll ask all you very quickly. If I said to you right now, tomorrow, forget that we're playing, well, let's say the end of the season. End of the season, I give you two options, like the blue pill and the red pill in the Matrix. This hand will give you a new chairman, but Ange stays as manager. This one will give you Daniel Levy and what he's normally done, but a new manager. Which one will you take? Because I take the Daniel Levy out of my club pill and stick with Ange every single day of the week. It's not even a conversation for me.
I think we all would. Because the way he's dragged this club down,
Rich is. I thought Rich would struggle.
From what Daniel Levy's built with the infrastructure, with what's going on there now, he's forgotten that we are a football team. The lack of investment in the lack of what we could be spending now. Now we've got all this infrastructure. His lack of ignoring the football side of things and not getting proper football people in. Instead, he brings in Munn and Lange and whoever else. You know, it's shocking what he's done to this. This football club is not the one I grew up supporting.
Well, what you got to remember with this as well, Mark, is should you take the pill that I would with the Levy out, but Ange stays, you'd think a new chairman, if we started off poorly, will be as ruthless as other chairmen like an Abramovich or whoever and go, right, you're out, we done, bye, we'll give a new manager or gold.
Exactly, that's why I'm taking that one.
No, with Levy, but a new manager, we're just going to be in exactly the same place we are in 18 months' time.
Of course.
On that basis, I shake your hand now.
There you go. See, I knew I could win Rich round.
Only on that basis that this manager that's Teflon and that seems to be like have his own nuclear bunker at the training ground and survives everything. He's like a cockroach, this Postecoglou. As long as he's gone, if he doesn't get results within a reasonable time with everything he needs.
He's not going to get results, is he? Because he ain't going to change.
Because he can't play. He's got no idea about setting up a team. So, nah.
Oh, Rich, you know what it is with Ange as well? I've said as well. What I think with Ange Postecoglou, and again, this could be me going absolutely like into another dimension. If Ange Postecoglou had a chairman that got him every single player in each position, don't mean two, like we had a great first 11 with Poch. If Ange Postecoglou had the desired midfield that he wanted with let's say he got Conor Gallagher, for example, or whatever, if he had his first 11 and they were all option A of what he wanted and of a high level, I think he personally could probably not go Pochettino levels, but I think his system could work if he had the exact elite player in each position to do what he needed them to do.
I've thought about this, I've literally put world players in his formation on a piece of paper. I'm that sad if I've drawn it. You got Cafu, you've got say Ronaldinho, Maradona, Maldini, Costa Curta or Nesta or whatever.
I hope Glenn Hoddle was in this list.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hod's there.
Sorry, Mabba.
No, but I'm talking about current day, not go back in history. I'm talking about current day. So
yeah, but I disagree because I just think it's other managers around the world are not playing this way for a reason. You just look at all the players on the half turn with one player back or two players back. It's not sustainable in a top elite leagues where physicality is such that it is now, where they're all elite athletes. You can't play like that every game and just outrun the opposition and rely purely on that intensity and one man. I love you to bits, Brian, but I disagree with that one. I have to say.
Wait, Rich. I'm not saying we'll be challenging for the title or anything. I'm not that deluded. I'm just saying if he had an 11 where he said, I want player A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we didn't go, right, let me buy you the younger alternative that maybe in 2-3 years. Let's just say this season we have bought Conor Gallagher and Eze. Let's just say Gyökeres as well. I know it's Dream Factory signing 3 players of that caliber in one window, let alone 4 windows. If we had that, then I think you're talking a very, very different picture to where we are. Or even if my man, Morgan Gibbs-White, Gyökeres, whatever, I think you're looking at a very, 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 very different Tottenham with Ange Postecoglou. But the fact that we buy youngsters and hope in a couple of years they'll become good, or ask them to do too much, or only play them when we have a major injury crisis and didn't get the players in for the first team, I think if we'd had a successful summer, and I do mean successful, not just it's okay by gone and got 3 marquee players like Aston Villa did in January.
Yeah.
If he had got them, not saying we'd be pushing up the day or pushing top 4, we certainly wouldn't be 17th or 16th. But we always go for the cheaper, one for the future. I think we're the only football club in the world, in the Premier League or Europe's top leagues, that when we buy a player, the main incentive to buy them is how much we could potentially sell them for.
It's true. It's been like that for a long time, Brian, hasn't it?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I have to say that I do still think that the drop-off has been that significant. I just think we'd probably be something like 10th. Even if he had all the moving parts, as he calls it, that he wanted. And remember what he said. He said, and this is coming from the man himself, one of his quotes, I'm not quoting him exactly, but he said, there's very little difference in the talent of these players. They're all top players. I would rather talk to the person and find out the man behind the player than perceive them to be elite or superstars. It's more about the person behind the player. That tells you all you need to know. He thinks he can hoodwink people by just getting players that want to run through walls for him. He doesn't actually care about levels, because I think he finds the players that are that caliber up a bit frightening, because he doesn't know what to do with them, because he can't coach them and get the best out of them.
Manage.
So that is my thoughts on it. And I very rarely disagree with you, Brian, but I slightly will differ on that one. I think he's the worst manager.
Fuck off, you're nothing to me.
I just think he's the worst manager and we've seen a few. He is awful. He's awful. Goddamn awful.
Not again, Rich, I'm not disputing anything you said. Not a single thing. I just think if he had the quality of player that we needed to come in and make an imprint in the first team. Remember, we keep saying we want players that walk into that first team. Literally walk. And the only reason Solanke walked into that first team is because Richarlison was his competition.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. And I'm a fan of Solanke. I really want him to succeed. And I reckon if we get a couple of quality wingers that can deliver a football regularly, he'll be flying. I really believe that. His stats aren't showing it, but we saw from that goal with Liverpool. Who knows? You put a cross in the box for him and he gets on the end of it. But once again, Spurs put all their money into record signing a striker, which we desperately needed. But then one of his best attributes is heading, and then we don't sign a player that can cross the football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Can I make one more point though about Tell before we finish?
Yeah.
Tell, for me, is the new Timo Werner. Stelios on Tottenham away called it, right? If we sign Timo Werner twice, that's it for him. He's gonna have a sort of explosion, shall we say, of the senses of what is happening with this club, right? For me, if we sign Tell, and I know we're going to renegotiate the 100%. Price, because I tell you now, I'm done with. Well, I keep on saying I'm done. God, this is a toxic relationship, isn't it? I'll just be so pissed off that we're blocking the pathway for Mikey Moore and these players.
Yeah.
Getting back to Bayern, let's just start again. clean sweep, get this whole footballing side out. Let Tell go back. He'll still be there in a couple of years, and we'll see. Maybe we'll regret it. Maybe we won't. I've seen nothing apart from a bit of physicality and movement and running, powerful running, that makes me think he's anywhere near worth taking a punt on. If we've got limited budget again, like we did last summer, and we spend our money on him, like we did with Archie Gray, for example, it's a player we don't need. The wrong player, the wrong time, for the wrong money again.
Do you know what? You talk about Tell. I don't think he's worth 50, 60 million at all. But I don't. I listen. Obviously, I love Still to bits, and Sava loves to bits. But I don't think he's that bad. As in what's being said by the. Like I said, at Wolves, I thought his movement was super. We need better. We need so much better. And I completely agree with Stell about how it stumped Mikey Moore's growth. He could have had more. I completely with that. I think there is a lot better we can get for that 50, 60 million. And you've got to remember, we keep talking 50, 60 million. And I've said this about Romero as well. This 50, 60 million isn't cash that's coming out of our transfer budget. This is cash that's being written off from Harry Kane.
Yeah.
This is why this deal could go through. It's because, but we'll get him for literally, we'll be buying. I know you've got an IOU with us at the moment, but we'll wipe XYZ, if not, whatever's remaining of it gone, and we've got a player and it's cost us no money.
Yeah. That's the only reason he's here, Brian.
It's not cost us physical money, it's wiping out a debt.
That's the only reason he's here, Brian.
Don't get stung by Levy-nomics and potential, Brian.
Do you believe?
Don't let Levy do you.
This is why this deal could potentially go for it. If it was we wanted him and we didn't own Bayern any money, or Bayern didn't owe us money, it wouldn't have even happened.
No.
It wouldn't have even got off the starting blocks.
Do you believe that's why he's here now? Do you
100%.
believe that's why he's here? Because
100%.
Bayern owe us money. The 10 million loan fee that we ain't got to give him.
Yeah.
We wanted Mawani, who wanted Champions League football, but then apparently didn't go to Champions League football Juventus. Mate, we will do this because we debt or money wiped out, so we do not need to spend.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. If it was Spurs going in to buy him, they wouldn't go above 30 million. They wouldn't go above 30 million. This is all to wipe out money owed and us not have a heavy spend. And like I said with Romero, just quickly, I don't get whether Romero goes or not, and let's face it, he's going. I keep seeing, I've mentioned this so many times, I keep seeing people go, oh, he's got to go for, I wouldn't accept anything under 70, 80, whatever fee you want to use. What difference does it make? What difference? I'll tell you why I say that. Danso, Dragusin, Davies, Vuskovic, Phillips. There's your defenders. And if you think if Spurs sell him for whatever money, Daniel Levy's going to go, here you go, here's XYZ amount, go for broke, go sign another elite player. Not happening. We all talk about it's not our money. People don't realise now we've got 5 defenders. That's before I mentioned Van der Ven. So you've got Van der Ven, obviously he'll be a main part. Then you've got, let's just say, Danso, Dragusin when he comes back, Vuskovic, Davies, Phillips, Dorrington.
Yep.
You think we're going to go sign another defender?
Mm.
You think, like Liverpool, like we said when they sold Coutinho or big players, they're going to go, here you go. Here's 70, let's just say 70 mil. Go use that to sign one player. Let's say Richarlison, well, Werner is going, and Richarlison go. That's over $250,000 a week saved on the wage bill.
Yeah.
Do you reckon Spurs will say, do you know what? That $250,000 we've just saved a week, go sign a player for 250 grand a week. Go smash the wage ceiling and go spend the money on a big player that, no, it'll be right. We've got 265. Let's spread this about between 3 or 4 players or give a couple of players a contract. Renew. It's what's going to happen at this football club. When people say to me, "How much would you take for Romero?" I'm like, I don't care. What are we going to see of it?
Yeah. It's Nigel Rich gave a load of players that could go in the summer, experienced players, Brian. But then when you work it out, you know that you're not getting that experience back in. All that's going to happen is the wage bill is going to be cut and cut and cut and cut, and you're going to end up with youngsters. We know what's going to happen. But
so how much do Bayern Munich owe us for Kane still?
It's still a fair amount. It's still a fair amount. I don't know the exacts.
Has it been there 2 years? Is it a year or two?
We asked for a big chunk of it up front. That was one of the things. I reckon there's probably still about 30, 35, 40 maybe.
So instead of getting Tao, why don't we just get Kane back? There's your experience. There's your captain.
Yeah, I'll tell you now, that man will not step foot back at this football club if Levy is in sole control.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. No, Edge, did you want to say anything on Tell at all? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't buy him. If we are as skint as what we're being told we are, I'd rather see that 30, 40 million, whatever it is, spent somewhere else. But listen, I don't think he's a bad footballer. I think he's he looks quite good. He's got good feet on him and he can beat a man. But for me, like has already been said, I think we got enough players on the left. I want to see more of Mikey Moore next season. We still got Sonny. And we got this Yang coming in as well. So do we need another young player now? For me, no. I'd spend the money elsewhere.
If I say to you, we got 7 wingers and not one of them could cross the football.
No.
It's mad, isn't it?
No.
It's mad. I know. Listen, chaps, we'll wrap the show up for this evening. Been very entertaining as usual, and I'd like to think honest as well from everyone on the panel, from our perspective anyway. Obviously not Aussie Anges. But
honestly, I wish on YouTube. I might even bring this in to Tottenham on Tour now. I'll speak to Ben. Like how you have man of the match or player of the match. I think we've got to have a commenter of the stream. And as much as everyone's been Aussie Ange, brilliant.
Yeah, welcome anytime, Aussie Ange. We've told you that, and we say what we mean. So, you're welcome.
Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
I'd like to say thanks to Nige for being on tonight. He's always steps in for us. He's always here for us. So make sure everyone subscribe to Nige at Pure Coys, please, if you haven't. Rich, thanks very much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. We value your input into our channel. You're welcome anytime, as you well know.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Brian, Tottenham on Tour, always welcome on, always pops on whenever he can, and we really appreciate it. Please make sure everyone in the chat, if you haven't, get over to Brian at Tottenham on Tour. Very important.
Thank you. It's a pleasure coming on the stream. It's a pleasure spending time with you two. It's always a pleasure. I've got to spend more time with Nige. I'm coming on your show with Dan next Tuesday, brother. And wishing you a very happy birthday for tomorrow, and just rich compliment. I love this man. I honestly, my love for this man runs deep.
It's reciprocal, Brian. It's reciprocal, mate.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. We love to hear it. Brian will have the last word, and he will have to know when to come in. But I will say, it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
And as always, Levy out.
Thanks, everyone. See you again.